Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
All right, are you guys ready to listen? Because if you're ready to listen, I'm ready to talk. Welcome back to Morning Mindset with your host, Paul Markel. And what are we going to talk about today? Thank you for asking. Dealing with screw-ups. How do we deal with screw-ups from ourselves and from others? Yeah, exactly. No one is perfect, and even good people who try very hard will make mistakes. Now, we're all going to screw up. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do and say things that we regret in our lives. And we're going to, we're going to spend time around family members and friends and coworkers who will also do things that hurt our feelings, that make us feel bad, that make us feel that maybe they didn't take our feelings into consideration. Maybe they lied to us. Maybe they tricked us. Maybe they betrayed us in some way. And they screwed up. How do we deal with that? Now, many of you may be dealing with a personal screw-up. You may have done something that you know you shouldn't have done, but in a moment of weakness, you did it anyway. And now you're dragging it around. You feel bad. It's weighing on you. Now, this only happens with moral human beings. There are a lot of immoral human beings walking around on planet Earth that don't care. But I want you guys to take heart, because if you did screw up, and it's weighing on your conscience, if you can feel it in your gut, if it's nagging at you, that's a good thing, because that means you are a moral individual. You're not one of these amoral monsters that are walking around here on planet Earth. So that's the good news. The good news is you have a conscience and you're a moral person. But what do you do about it? And this is something that can actually distract you, and it can become quite a negative if you spend a lot of time thinking about what you should have done or the mistake that you made. And I know this may sound cliche, but the truth of the matter is, if you screwed up with someone in your relationship, at work, doesn't matter. If you screwed up and it's weighing on you, you need to confront it. You need to deal with it. You need to say to that person, whoever it is that's involved, hey, I screwed up. I shouldn't have, but I did, and this is what I'm going to do to make it right. Now, there may be nothing that you can do to change it, and obviously we don't have time machines, and we can't go back in time and correct that mistake or fail to make it, but you can acknowledge it. Now, you may be in a situation you're like, well, Paul, I've done that before. I've admitted mistakes, and the person who I thought was going to say everything's okay and forgive me, they didn't. Well, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't change another person's actions. You can't change their reactions. You can't force them to accept your apology or what have you. And they may not, but that's really immaterial. If you know in your heart that you did what needed to be done, even though it was painful, even though it hurt you, even though you'd rather, slam your hand in a car door than go up to that person and admit that you made a mistake, you did it. Wash your hands of it, move on with your life. You did what you needed to do, stop thinking about it. And if you do that, if you speak those words, this is why therapists, and they really, a therapist doesn't fix you so much as they allow you to fix yourself. And many people get a lot of benefit from peer counseling or professional counseling, not because the person gave them the solution. I think a lot of people screw up when they think that if I go to counseling or I talk to a counselor or what have you, or a therapist, they're going to tell me what to do to fix myself. They're going to give me a playlist. All right, do this, and everything is going to be great. And that's not really how it works. What happens is you speak the words and you come to that realization. That's why peer counseling is so important. That's why it's important to be able to talk to your peers. Now, that's your screw-ups. We've talked about that and dealing with your own personal screw-up and how you can get that from, get it out. Stop letting it nag you and ache at your gut. What about when somebody else has screwed up and they did something to you that was wrong, or you felt it was a betrayal, or what have you? It doesn't matter. The person screwed up in your eyes, and they have not come to you, and they have not done what I just said, admitted guilt. But their screw up, their mistake, their actions against you have been weighing on your heart, weighing on your mind. Well, like I said, you can't force anyone to do anything. You should know that by now. You can't force them. But what you can do is you can address it. And you can either do it, verbally. You can do it in written format. I would not do it as a tweet. And I'm going to go ahead and say this just as a quick aside caveat. If you have a one-on-one relationship with a human, right? There's you and another human, and you're having a bad relationship with them, or something's gone wrong. Deal with it with them. Don't tell everyone on Facebook about your personal issue with that person. It makes me want to throw up, and it's not gonna help anything. It's just nonsense. But if someone has done you wrong, and they have not said, "Hey, I was wrong and I shouldn't have done that," okay. How you can deal with it and how you can move beyond it or get it off your chest or what have you is to address it via, whether it's verbally, you go and meet that person, you have a phone call with that person, maybe you could go super old school and you could get a piece of paper and a pen. I know, you modern millennials, you don't really know how those ink sticks work, but, if you're a young millennial and you don't know how to work one of those ink sticks, have your mom or dad or your grandpa show you how to do it. Take some dead tree, take the ink stick, and write them a letter. Let them know. Call them on the phone. Do something and say, "Hey, what you did, what you said, how you acted, how you treated me in that circumstance, I think it was wrong, and this is why." And you know what? They may say, "Well, that's your opinion, and I don't share that opinion, so too bad." If that's the case, then you did what you needed to do. And at least now you know that they're either A, going to change their ways, they're going to apologize, or they're not. And if they decide that they don't really think it was that big of a deal and they don't know what your problem is, fine. You know where you stand, move on. But either way, when we have screw-ups, whether you screwed up or whether somebody else screwed up, the worst thing you can do is just let it nag at you. Just sit on it and nag and let it nag you. That's not productive. It's not helpful, and there's too many things you need to do in your life to sit around thinking about it. So address it, deal with it, move on, and I guarantee you're going to feel better on the other side. Even though it's going to be, it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to be painful to deal with. And I get that. Trust me, I do. But it's not going to go away on its own, So there you go. That is it for today. And it looks to me like this is the end of the week. And I also looked at a calendar, and guess what is coming up very soon? Father's Day. And I've got a recommendation for you freaks and freakettes out there. If you have a dad, if you know a dad, if you are a dad, you should enjoy the book, Dad Rules, Wit and Wisdom from a Dad to Whom It May Concern. Yes, it was written by yours truly, Paul Markel. If you go to Amazon right now, you can order Dad Rules, Wit and Wisdom from a Dad to Whom It May Concern for your dad or for your husband or, whatever. Order it now. You'll have it way before Father's Day, and you'll be able to present them with a unique gift that will make them smile. And it's full of real, serious, some hardcore realities from my 30 years experience as, oh, wow. All right. Not quite 30 years, but man, going on 30 years as a dad. How did that happen? All right. So, Dad Rules, Wit and Wisdom from a Dad to Whom It May Concern. Pick it up for your dad for Father's Day. I'm your host, Paul Markel, and I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.